big C church, the capital C church, or the small C church, local churches, has failed a lot of people. But the institution isn't the same thing as the person of Jesus himself.
And
body of Christ and all.
Yeah, but also here's the thing about the person of Jesus himself. When it comes to all these terrible things that the big C or little C, I was thinking of a different word started with C for this guy, but maybe I'll get to that later.
Big C or little C?
Yeah. All the letters might be big, actually, but speaking of but it's not Jesus, but Jesus didn't do anything about it. So I went. This is one of the things I discussed.
He tried,
last
Tommy.
week. Yeah.
But you know,
but yeah, he can't. Yeah, he can't violate their free will, even though.
People can violate other people's free will. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Because apparently, the one doing the violating, their free will is the most important.
Yes, more important than the safety of the people they're mistreating. And Millie, it does raise the question: why would God / Jesus allow his representatives on earth to drive someone away from the faith like that, like this, or like any of the reasons that he's saying people leave? Like, why?
It's all for God's glory.
But this especially, or with the teaching again, like if people are leaving the faith because of bad teaching, like, well, where is Jesus to come back and correct all the bad teaching that we're having about him now? If it's really that bad,
we gotta wait until it's so bad that the Antichrist pretends to be Jesus first, right?
Oh, so God
the
has to let
free
him,
will is the most important.
Right, that's right, because God has to let him fool a lot of us first.
Yeah,
that's right.
That's how you know who all the real ones are. This was kind of where it started getting off. Where these are the things the first few were things that not your fault initially, but how you respond to it becomes your fault.
Right.
I was going to mention earlier with the trauma that person experienced in church, and they're like, yeah, that wasn't their fault. But it kind of seemed like he was implying that if that continues to be a problem, then it's your fault. He didn't give that person a pass for leaving. He's like, that's a really difficult thing.
Yeah, that's when but you got to remember that's when he went into the hole. You got to remember it was the people, not Jesus. But again, so the example I used last week, so say because again, going through the example of God as a father and we're his children. So okay, so me as a father, I have 2 kids. If one of my kids was severely abusing or mistreating the other one, but I did absolutely nothing about it, especially if it was a situation especially when they were little, and I literally could have stepped in and just prevented the one from doing whatever they were doing to the other one. But instead, I just stood back and was oh, I can't interfere. It's their free will. But then I later go to the kid of mine who was the victim of all this and go oh, but you still love me though, right? And they're like, no, fuck you. You just let my sibling do this to me, did nothing about it. It's oh, but that was them, not me. You can still love me though, right? It's no. So again, we're asking people who were victims of these supposed children of God, and God did nothing to stop it. And we're expecting these people to still love this God who did nothing about it.
Yeah, seems complicated.
I guess I just need more faith. I'm just asking too many questions. Yeah, Melly with a good point here. If God is everywhere and can see everything, then this metaphor, the parent would be in the room while the abuse was happening. Yeah, this is a phrase, and this is a phrase I remember using as a Christian, but to try to excuse things like this, or just anytime any Christian or anyone is going through any hard time where they're why would God let this happen? And let me know if you've heard this one before. Oh yeah, God may not have stopped the pain or prevented you from being hurt or whatever, but he was right there with you in the midst of all of it. He was right there alongside you. It's like he understands because like he came down as Jesus and went through like the pain of like the cross. So he knows what you're going through. So he was right there with you as this all was happening. Like, okay, what the fuck did he do about it though?
Yeah, if you
You're
have the
just telling
power
me
to
he just
stop the
sat there
pain and you
watching-
don't,
Yeah, you're telling me he just sat there watching the whole time? Like, how is that supposed to make me feel better?
also sometimes
It's-
people will say, well, God can't, he can't be where sin is or something like that. One, if he can't be where something is, then he's not omnipresent. But secondly, Jesus was fully God and dined with sinners all the time. So what?
Yeah. Right.
Like while they were
Yeah.
sinning, probably. Like
Mhm.
you go dine at a tax collector's house, like there's probably prostitutes at the table, like yanking people under the table. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe
It was
even
a wild
Jesus.
time.
Maybe that's why Jesus wanted to hang out with them all the time. Because hey,
Hey,
Yeah,
get the holy yank.
yeah. But the example I like to use with the whole like, oh, but he was there with you the whole time, but didn't do anything. Okay, but like, which I get, like that can be comforting because when we just get that from people who can't do anything about what we're going through, like, yes, that is awesome to have people who are just there for us. Like, even if they can't do anything about what we're going through,
Mhm.
they're there with us, like commiserating, empathizing, suffering through it with us, whatever. It's like, yes, from people, that is awesome when we can get that. So for someone who doesn't have that, I can see how that can sound encouraging. It just the thought of, okay, somebody is here with me. Somebody understands what I'm going through. But again, like if that's all you're expecting from God, though, I mean, that would be like, and this is the example I love to use, like back when I had cancer, if I would, because I was getting that kind of support from people who obviously couldn't actually do anything about my cancer, but I had great support from friends and family who were coming all around me, like supporting me, like helping out with lots of stuff, just generally just being there for me, including Matt, which I'm eternally grateful for. But there was a reason I also went to an oncologist. Because from an oncologist, I expect more than that. So if I had gone to her and my first appointment with my oncologist, and she had just sat me down, it's like, look, you got cancer, it's looking bad, and this it's going to be really hard for you and all this, but I just want you to know, like, I'm not actually going to do anything about it, but I will be here with you as you suffer through it. My response would have been, and everyone say it with me, go fuck yourself with a brick. I'm getting a new oncologist. So, but we're supposed to expect less from God than that. So,
Yeah.
All right, cool. So you're telling me not to lose my faith in this God, but you're telling me he's not going to do shit to help me. Help me out. So
It's no wonder
But-
they came up with the God is fully human thing.
nah.
I swear it would, like Jesus is like the evidence of people trying to figure shit out. They're like, wait a second.
Yeah.
And they deconstructed and tripped and fell on Jesus.